Welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi T. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and set the bell notification to all. Please also share this. Let's get into it.
Don't wait up, I've been working hard every day, living dreams for a pay stub, yeah, straight up. 5 years later, like I said, I would make it on my way up. It's all up, coming from the nation, made a foundation, true stuff, yeah, too tough. We ain't giving up on our dreams, everything is ahead of us. Stay true to your path, it's not where you start, it's all where you're at. It's where you end up when your back's to the mat. Do you cripple the flat or get up off your back? Deliver these facts to see them react. The stadium's packed, they all gonna snap. The motivated attract, the escalated attack, the frustrated hit back. Yeah, we move fast. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. It's automatic, I'm always getting after it. If you ain't working, I don't understand what's happening. It's not enough time just to be imagining. You gotta take some action towards practicing. I know it's not easy, but you gotta get out there. Make your own meaning, can't afford to have doubts. They'll interrupt here, man, I just wanna look out there. The crowd all screaming. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go.
Welcome in, everybody. What do we got here? Hi, Karen. So glad to see you, Karen. Hi, Bling. Hi, Juju. Sorry, I'm eating while I'm live here. We're going to get into Lucian's case here. Definitely is well worth it. Let me share my screen here. Amanda Gonzalez. Good morning. Hey, Amanda. I think you're local on this case. And if you would like to come up here, that would be cool to have you up here. Are you able to come up here? And if you don't need to be shy. I'm not going to do anything far out there. I don't know if you watched my last live, but I just did a live just a few minutes ago that I helped a family that was being bashed on social media and people flipping the narrative and stuff. So I'm here to help. I don't take things one way or the other. Everybody's victims until they're not. Been following since day one. If you want to come up here, you're more than welcome to. It would be nice to get some insight from somebody following it day one, because I want to go back to the police maps that I want to see what I missed. So I've said since the beginning, so I'm going to say it for myself. My theory and thought, I had two. One was he wandered off and went into the water. The second thought that I had is that he was abducted. And obviously, by the proof and by everything else, I'm leaning more towards the abduction side. And today we're going to get into a little bit more of southeast, would have been more of, so this is like straight south. So southeast would be a little bit more of this area here. on this map. And the reason why I'm going to point a little bit more towards my phone is about to die, but I'll stay on as long as I can. Oh, yeah. What do you want to do? If you can come up, it'll probably kill your battery, but here's this. I'm going to turn my camera off to save my end here. Sorry, I muted for 1 second. My phone is about to die. I can stay on long. Yeah, I'm going to get into some things, some news media, and some other things on this case. And she wants what oh, interesting. Hold on here 1 second. I guess I messed something up in my description. Thank you for the person that sent that to me. I know you're here watching. I just want to make sure. Oh, it's not going to save it. I can go in a different way and do it. Anybody else that's local that wants to come up before we get into things here? I just need to fix a I misspelled a word in my title because I was trying to do it right before I went live on Michael Vaughn. And hold on here 1 second. All right. Fixing this real quick. Save. There. Should be fixed now. Sorry, I think there is an issue I keep clicking that accept cam and video and nothing is happening. If you want to use if you have Safari, if you're on an iPhone, use Safari. You can't use Chrome. So Chrome it won't work with Chrome. Or the StreamYard link won't. Oh, you have to use Amanda, copy the link into the browser, then try. I'm gonna let a couple more people get in here before we get into it. And if Amanda comes up, that'd be awesome. And don't listen to me. I'm an Android user. Laugh out loud. Well, I don't know if she has it. Amanda, copy link, put it in your browser and try again. I don't know if you have I'm an iPhone user, so I use Safari when I go on to panels from my phone. But if you're I don't know anything about Androids, so, or Samsung phones or whatever you want to call them. All right, Google. No evidence of foul play. That's what I did yesterday. Lucian's case, detectives get about 5 tips every day. YPD. diver search, Yakima waterways. Why no Amber Alert? We're going to see the criteria for the Amber Alert at some point during this live. And then anything else that you guys want to go over. Search continues. 6 days ago, who has autism was last seen wearing blue shorts, blue shirt. I just want to scour some of these fewer Yakima volunteers join the search for Lucian. Let's do this. I'm just going to open up my Facebook here too. There is a family Facebook that people are using as well. Let's take a look here. Oh, there you are. Elizabeth. Hope. Oh, nice. Hello. Hi. I can hear you now.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Hey, you were the one that was on a couple days ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was like, just so you know, I have Facebook groups of my own, and I'd like to keep in contact with you while this case is going on. I don't know if you do Facebook or if you do email.
I do. I do both.
Okay. I want to follow this one and I actually want to help. So I'm leaning way more towards the abduction based off of our last live when you were here. Not only based off of that, but based off of the searches that have been conducted and the search grid map. So they thoroughly searched that park. Did you see my live from yesterday?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I was working yesterday. So. Okay.
So I did a live yesterday and then I went back to this picture that I have up here, they showed all the search teams and like the A1 team, A5 team, B1 team, B2 team, diver 1 team, diver 2 team, and showed waterways, showed the park, which team searched it, what their pattern was, and they thoroughly searched the whole thing. So I wanted to be transparent with my people today that, and they did clarify yesterday that they did see him on camera. They're not going to say how they saw him, but they did see him on camera at the park and not by the play area. So, and he was moving in a southeast direction, which would be more over, in my personal logical opinion, would be the link's pinned to the top, Amanda, if you want to come up here. Mine would be is he got out behind the shed. So out of sight from Dad. There she is. Hello, can you hear me, Amanda?
Hi, yes.
Hi. Elizabeth and Amanda, do you guys know each other or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm not sure what. But Amanda, you're local?
Yeah, I'm local.
Okay, so am I.
So,
yes,
I imagine he got out he got away from over here, but being an autistic kid and running that, I mean, it's still a decent amount of weight, but they searched this. There's nothing in there. So they searched this edge. They searched this edge. There was a private team out there, and I'm sure that they cleared the whole thing. I don't know that for 100% facts. I'm going to go based off the assumption if you're going to put on diving gear and go into water, you're going to search the whole thing so you don't have to come back and do it again. I feel more confident that I know now for a fact that he was at, according to the article yesterday, the police have him on camera at the park. They don't know after that. They don't know because obviously they don't have video of him leaving. So your thoughts, any local stir up that
everybody has their theories, assumptions of what happened. I don't want to go too deep into that because, I mean, it could go crazy. I really think he was abducted or something along those lines.
Myself, for some reason, they're not releasing the pictures of him
I
leaving.
don't understand
I
why.
don't. Yeah, I don't know
No
why.
one understands that.
I don't know if it's because he's so young that they won't. But you see on they're saying people are saying that they can't or different things. But you see on TV all the time where they've released a video or a picture of someone that's missing, and this is the last place they were seen. If any, did you see them? And that's not happening in this case. We haven't seen
at
video,
least
so
a still shot would help. That he was
absolutely.
in that.
And another thing is the long hair with the kids is really common right now, and there's a lot of kids running around with dark hair and a little bit long. And I believe that too with the still shot. At least it could be people could look at them like, no, that's my son, or it looks a lot like him, but that's not him. I understand that he was wearing certain clothes and things like that, but people are so skeptical of that right now because it just hasn't been released. All you hear is, we're not going to release that.
Well, so I worked the Michael Vaughn case too, which he is a missing. He was 5 years old. He's now 6, but he got abducted or taken. Like, they can't find him. He got abducted or taken from his neighborhood, and I worked that case too. And the same thing is that when you have a kid that's been abducted or taken, the police, they did the initial search there too, looking for them, kind of a very thorough search, how they did here in this case. But it just frustrates me. There was no Amber Alert in that case either. There was no anything. The mother actually had to push and get a silver alert for him, and actually change there's a thing called Monkey's Law there now that actually helps other kids in the state of Idaho, which they're working on doing in some other states too. But my point is that once they ruled out other things and went into the abduction phase, the police kind of they had a picture of a man in the park and a picture of a vehicle, but they didn't release it until like a year later because they couldn't figure out who it is. So, and that's still going on where they still want while those people aren't complying and are not coming forward. So, and I based both of the cases as a similar like thing. There was obviously other people. We saw the picture the other day that you guys shared. There was obviously other people in the park that were taking videos and different stuff. And Lucian just disappears and vanishes. Waterways have been searched. All the ground has been searched. And there was a couple of areas that were searched by more than one person. There was businesses across the way. This business or this thing here got searched. This parking lot got searched. There was some other businesses over here on the other side of this thing where they had searched that stuff too. They even went on the other side of the river with ground searches. So I'm not leaving the park, but I'm leaving the park based off of he's not at that park. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I totally agree. He is not there, but the parents everybody keeps going back there. Search the park. I don't know why.
Well, So the same thing is that then they start broadening the searches and I mean, they thoroughly searched it. I was impressed with the way that the police showed on the diagram, like their foot searches and where they went. And he's clearly not there. And otherwise, they would have pulled out forces. I think they would have kept going. They are doing more of a thorough search of the waters, I noticed in the last couple of days, which is good. So you can completely rule them out. But I think that they have tips and leads of something else. Usually when they go quiet and they're investigating it, that's what happens.
Yes, and this is Elizabeth. You know, I guess I don't really know what to say with this, because there's some stuff going on with the family that I'm very, very upset about. But I think I do know that there was another gentleman who wanted to come in and use sonar to search. And all he asked for was his expenses to travel here and back to his home base. And the family declined and said, hey, the waters have been have searched, and there's nothing in the waters. And that really kind of concerned me, because they've been raising money, and one of the things initially they said they were going to raise money for was to continue the search for Lucian. And now that's completely gone off their GoFundMe page. They're not even raising money to, to pay, or I guess the first one said pay volunteers, pay people to come in and do searches. And that's completely gone off the GoFundMe now. Now they're saying that they're using the money to support the family who's there. But there are hundreds of reports saying that the family's sitting on top of the hill. They're sitting, on benches and not basically doing anything. And I know that they've raised like $16,000, and they haven't even issued a reward for him. So, I mean, that right there to me is like this huge, big red flag. What is going on? Why isn't there a reward? Why aren't you bringing all these people in? If they say, I just want you to pay for my expenses to get there and back, I mean, why aren't you taking advantage of that?
So they raised $15,000. Heidi's in chat now. They raised $15,000 and haven't paid anyone. But that wasn't the point of the funds, right? I'd have to go to the GoFundMe, but you can't use those funds for to pay searchers. You have to use it for what you said that the GoFundMe was set up for. So if the GoFundMe was set up for hotel stays, then that's what they have to use it for.
That's not what they said. That's what they said originally, what it was going to be used for. That it was going to be used for helping support the family, to pay for searchers, to pay for volunteers, to use the money. And the rest of the money was going to go to organizations that help find missing kids. They've changed that on their GoFundMe account. Now on their GoFundMe account, it says it's to support the family for staying at the hotels, feeding them, all their expenses because they're not working and stuff like that. They've changed their narrative of what the funds are for.
And per the hotel, was donated, the whole stay, or
the stay from the hotel was like the hotel stepped in and funded it, right? Like they just gave them free rooms, which is the right thing to do in this situation. So
yeah, totally. I mean, agree.
But it's not like they live. It's not like they live.
Yeah, they don't also live far. They live 8 minutes away.
No, but I'd rather they're living their worst nightmare. Their son's lost, and their mental phase is not good enough. I wouldn't want them on the road. And if you're driving on the road and you're driving by them, at least they could have somebody else. I mean, sometimes, they want to be right there. I helped I'm helping in the Michael Vaughn case. The parents camped out in their front lawn for I don't know, like 72 hours, maybe even longer, for a whole week. But he was taken from their block, not from the park. And I bet you if Michael Vaughn was taken from a park, those parents would have camped out at the park, just like what's going on here. And the hotel was a place to take a shower, and that's pretty much it.
The case is here, though, that they're not just camped out right there. They're all over the place. And I know that they're putting up flyers and stuff, but I was
Yeah.
personally there and showed up, and the parents didn't show up until between 11 and noon. And that's not what they're saying on social media. They're saying that they're out there first part of dawn. There's nobody out there first part at dawn. I mean, if it was me, I would be there from dawn to dark. And I think a lot of people feel that way, but they're not out there early in the morning. They just get there when they get there. And
Yeah,
so to
they do.
say,
I
I mean,
mean, I'm.
yeah,
They
she
do have
literally,
other kids. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not taking away your point, but they do have other 2 kids they have to be there for. Also,
well, I understand that, but I've also been told that the grandmother is personally the kids' caregiver. And I don't know if that's true or not. But I mean, what Sandra, the mother, posted on Facebook was that her husband was working, getting off at like 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, getting 2 hours sleep, and was back down there at like daybreak or at 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's simply not true. That was a lie.
yes, there's a
Yeah.
lot of not transparency in what people are saying. And there's 3 different Facebook groups. The family's controlling what's said on one. Like, everything has to be approved to be commented. Comments are getting deleted. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. I just I see both ways. I get it. But I'm not saying that I don't know how transparent police are being with them as well. Uh, I thought so when I originally was looking at this case. I didn't know Yakima. You say Yakima, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Yakima is 90,000 people.
It just in
How
the
big?
city, but surrounding areas, I would think, I don't know what you think, Amanda, but I think it's probably about 150 when you include all the areas that aren't incorporated in Yakima.
Yeah,
But
like
Yakima
Yakima
has
County.
so
Yeah.
Yakima has one police station, right? Well, they probably have a couple spread throughout the city, or just one police station.
They have one police station. And then the
Okay.
Yakima, and then the sheriff's office, Yakima County Sheriff's Office, is within Yakima also.
Interesting.
Yes, I think everybody thinks it's interesting.
Yeah, and I know that Amanda agrees with you that he got abducted, but I'm 50-50. I was like 75% sure abduction and then wasn't sure at the other, but I'm 50-50. I truly believe that he was either abducted, or it was set up by the family. They don't make any sense to me, and I'm part of that family, but I stepped back, and I'm like, I can't deal with them because they're just ridiculous, and I'm not going to be part of that right now. And there's just so much going around. I'm not quite sure which way to
Well,
go, but
It breaks my heart for this little boy.
Harold,
Like, he
Harold.
deserves the best.
he does. It should be about him, all about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amanda, do you know Lucian?
No, but I've literally contacted several people about him and to get his case out there.
Yeah, okay. I just was asking just so that the viewers understand. So I just wanted to ask. I know that you're a local, and I asked you to come up here. I greatly appreciate it. And it's okay for people to have difference of opinions. And the thing is I was in my last live is the misinformation and the you have to take, and everybody goes down rabbit holes trying to figure out a case. So you have to take whatever speculation or whatever your opinion is, and then take the facts of the case and then figure out whether to prove that oh, this could have happened or this couldn't, based off of the facts that were given out by law enforcement. So the one thing that, and I was guilty of it the other day, I thought that he was never at the park. Yesterday, I found an article, and I'm going to bring up that article because I want to reread what they quoted about what the police said, and your opinions are still matter. I just want to no evidence of foul play. I just want to show this to you since we're talking about this, and I the same thing that this new thing that. We're going to do the quotes here. So here's the quotes of the police. So they quoted them here on Tuesday, September 13th. This was the response he provided to reporters, which was Police Chief Matt Murray, when asked about the video during an interview. So one thing we never do in law enforcement is talk about evidence. And when I say the word evidence, that doesn't mean there's a crime, but we have to be open to the possibility that anything could happen. As I said over and over yesterday, I will repeat it again today. Nothing leads us to believe there was any foul play in this situation, but we always be open for the possibility that something could happen that would change the course of our investigation. So it would be inappropriate for me to talk about the specific things that we know. What I can tell you is there is video. So one, there's video of him missing, or there's video of it. I'm sorry. There's video of him at the park. I'm not gonna talk about where it came from or where it was. That shows Lucian leaving the park in the south, leaving the park. So these are key words that when you have police that are searching for a missing person, key words when they speak, there's key things that they hint on and key things they say. You then decipher them into that makes sense to you logically. So in my opinion, and you guys can chime in here, just say, hey, I want to say something, and you can speak. I'm not going to talk about where it came from or where it was. That shows Lucian leaving the park in south direction. When he says leaving, I think he's meaning leaving slide in the swing area, or is he meaning leaving the park because that park is pretty big. So I would say that he's saying leaving from where they're playing on the playground stuff. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I think if I went back, they said they saw him leaving the parking lot, like across the parking lot. I want to recall that in a different article. I don't know where it was, but I want to say
I tried to go back and get the search maps because it's very valuable in the search maps. See that they thoroughly searched, and on the ground, there's no way that the kid is there on the ground. Now, they still were searching water as of yesterday. I don't know how thorough the dive teams have been, but this is saying there's video proof that he's there. There's video proof that he was walking in the southeast direction?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it was, yes.
Yeah.
And I think
So
I think that it may be, I know we've talked about this before, there's a greenway pathway that goes for miles and miles and miles, and that he may have made it to the pathway and was walking down because the pathway starts basically at that park and goes either every direction. And so maybe that's where they're talking about that he was leaving the park on that pathway, because that would be southeast.
This is the Greenway Park path right here. And it comes way down here, but it goes way back there. It goes a long ways. But southeast would be, so the parking lot is in the east sector, right? So this would be south. South and would be this direction, not southwest towards the parking lots over here.
No, it would be, see where the little roundabout is? I think the
Yep.
Greenway pathway just starts right there at that roundabout going.
And it comes this way.
Yes.
But this would be the southeast, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'm going to read a little bit more of this here. Southeast direction. I can tell you definitely this absolutely here. I'm not going to talk about where it came from or where it was. That was Lucian leaving the park in the southeast direction by himself. I can tell you that it is true. So could something else have happened after that? Of course, I can't tell you definitively this absolutely did happen or this didn't happen. What I can tell you is the evidence we have seen and nothing else leads us to he left the park by himself. That's what we know for a fact. What happened after that? Question. Well, we may still have to find, but we've had detectives scouring this entire area looking for people with video, businesses with videos, homes with videos, and we found some. And so what I can tell you is we know things that the public doesn't know, and we can't necessarily share them. That's not because I don't want to be transparent, but that's our job. And our job is also to protect the information we have and to pass along what we can, and then to ask folks to give us grace to do our job and do it right. That's the professionals we are, and we have maintained the integrity of the entire case, regardless of what happens today. Thoughts?
I like in that statement where he says it's not that they don't really have information, they just can't share some of it. I have reason to believe that something else is going on, but that's just my opinion. There's things being said by people who were supposed to be eyewitnesses. And, I'm not afraid to share them. Like I said, I've removed myself kind of from the family. I'm not afraid to share them because this is about Lucian, not about them. And there are witnesses who have come forward and said that the mother reported Lucian missing the night before he disappeared, and then called back and canceled that and said, never mind her, we found him or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but several people have said it, and someone said it came right from the police, not as a statement to the public, but as a personal one-on-one. So I guess that's when everything got really, really murky with me. Is that true? And it'd be really nice to find out if that is true or if it's just a rumor.
Well, I don't think they'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably really part of evidence.
But at the same time, yeah, that's weird. But at the same time, if he was seen on video at the park, then we have to go based off of that fact. So he was there. Whether she called the night before that he was missing or not is not going to affect whether he was at the park or not. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I have no, if they have evidence. Yeah, if they have evidence that he was at the park, I'm not going to say he wasn't at the park. But what I said earlier was I just have suspicions that it may have been a setup of some sort.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I have a question. Since you kind of know the family, have you heard about this whole person that the family is tied to as a trucker?
Yes, and that he uses their address as a home, like a home-based address. That's suspicious.
Just don't say actual names. You guys are free to talk.
No, I'm not.
I would know his name.
I've been digging into the case, just so you know, and I know what you guys are talking about, but I
Did
just don't want to
Lucian
see
see
people saying,
somebody off camera and walk towards them? That's like I would love to see, was he happy walking away? Was he like his actions, his emotions? I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
They don't say.
yeah, did he look lost? Did he look sad? Did he look scared? I mean, that would be really helpful.
yeah, that would be. The other thing that I kind of find interesting in this thing is what happened after that. Well, we may still have to find they'll have to find out, but it says we've had detectives scouring this entire area looking for people with videos, businesses with video, homes with video, and we found some. And so what I can tell you is again, we know things that the public doesn't know, and
Right.
we can't necessarily share them. So what that's telling me is
More than
it'd
one
be
people.
interesting to see. They have video. They're saying there's outside video of the actual area that they can't tell the public that they have with it. I mean, it all takes time to get all of that done and getting people to agree to let you see their video footage and to get all that information and then to sit there and go through them and all that. And they're doing that while they're still out there searching in panic mode. And it's a lot to take in at one time, but then piecing it all together takes time too. So even if they, let's say that Lucian was on camera by a fellow person in the park, and then let's say that there was also other people at that park that may have been on camera later or may have been on camera before at other businesses before they went to the park, or maybe even after they went to the park. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
That does
something
make
to do.
sense.
I mean, he wouldn't say that unless if he had something. Why would you bring up? He brought up that we just can't tell public, and sometimes it's out of protection of the child or protection to figure out. Like a lot of times they can't do anything until they actually find the child before they can say anything and wrap up their investigation.
Yeah, and I think we both understand that. I think everybody understands that. I think just the different there, but there are a lot of people coming forward and saying, I saw them here or something, or something weird happened there. This whole thing with the Kiwanis Park and the Sarg Hubbard Park, and then the family is just acting weird. They're just acting. Everybody acts different. Everybody acts different. Everybody is in shock. They would act different. Some people would cry. Some people would be very stoic. I understand that. But, they're like posting things that are weird. They're arguing with a lot of people. They're putting signs up at the park that are like rude even. But then family members are saying things and all of them seem to be different. There's not a theme, like we want to give you this information and this is what we feel. It's this they're not cohesive, I guess I want to say.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and then it makes it I think it's making it worse. I mean, I really think that it is making it a lot worse than what it has to be right now.
Yes, I agree. I think it questions everything.
But if you could take backgrounds and not knowing what we know now, take that out and take it as, I get that when people sorry, I was getting a message from another family, but what I want to do is take their past. People change. Some people change, some people don't. Let's take that, set that to the side. Let's not focus on. I'm going to ask you a question here in a minute. That's why I'm preparing you this way. Is take their backgrounds. You take what people have said. Let's go based off of the fact that of facts that they were at the park. Take all of that out. What does it look like to you has happened? Like they searched the water, they searched the ground thoroughly. They've have dive teams in that river. They've had several of them in that river. They have for miles, for like a mile. They also have searched that lake there. He goes, let's say this is speculating. Let's say they have him on camera. We know that for a fact. And then let's say that all of a sudden he goes out of camera's view, or it only caught a glimpse of him and other people were at the park. What the only other option is that he left.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was with the parents, whether it was not, we can't say that. And you take out the backgrounds and everything else that people are trying to use against them, that I know things don't add up and things don't make sense, but you're also in a trauma period with them, a shock period with them, with a missing kid.
Right. So I would say if I did that, if I took everything out that we've heard, seen, or anything, and it was from day one, I don't know anything. I do know the area. I do know that there's a lot of crime. I know there's a lot of drugs, and there is a huge amount of homeless people.
Yeah.
And if it was just that circumstances, that I don't know anything else in the world other than that he was there and he went missing, I would say that he was probably lured away. So no one would think anything suspicious about that, because he would be like voluntarily following somebody or walking away. And then he was probably taken by somebody. That's what I would say.
I agree. Totally agree. Because that area is, not good. Still, I don't know. I mean, why were they there at that time of night?
Are the parents Hispanic? And if so, if they are not raised here, they're going to seem and respond different than what we would. We're closely with families from Guatemala. Big difference.
They've lived here all their lives, I believe.
Well, I think he's from California. Wasn't he born in California?
That's the family's from California.
Yeah, but the mother is from here. She was born here in Yakima. And she's white. Yeah. She's Caucasian. The mother is.
Sazzy Nas, no. If somebody wants to type that in chat as she's playing catch up. Oh, Bling did. Okay, cool. And I'm driving, so I can't see the chat. You're good. Leave it to Beaver. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in one of the Facebook groups, and then you have the family page that, which I go to the families page to see what they're putting there. I also watch the other one. What happens when, I don't know, you guys probably, I don't know, you guys, when you're on YouTube, you guys look at true crime stuff, or you guys like other missing people, or just because of this case, you have come to YouTube to see what people are doing?
I'm a true crime person. Yeah. I watch it all the time, but I also watch like the psychic stuff and the readings and all that stuff.
Me too.
I'm just open to everything.
Okay. I do too. The readings have been interesting, but I don't know.
Well,
don't want to go down that way.
No, I don't like to speculate on those readings either, because all it takes is so viewers on YouTube like to take what they see and what they hear and stuff, and then go to family or go to law enforcement with like gruesome, weird stuff. And
yeah, that's horrible. That would.
Yeah. I do watch them too. It's just sometimes there's far out there things, and I be careful with what I do. So I use as an example of the social media, even though it's on Facebook, we've seen other cases where Maybe people don't have all the information, or I used some of those readings are absolutely brandy. I know. If like some of the social media stuff I've seen in other cases where my live just a little bit ago, right before this one on Michael Vaughn, I said, have you ever played the game telephone where you stand in a circle and one person starts it, they relay a message to the person next to them, and then see if the person at the end of the line says the exact same message. And I use this analogy into what's going on in this case. And it goes on in a lot of missing kids cases where you have somebody's telling somebody a theory, but they think it's as like a fact, or that, and it creates chaos in the case. And that's why I was my last live, I think Elizabeth was here, and I said, the family needs one spokesperson, and the rest of them need to go with that person with everything, and then they decide what gets brought out from there. Because the one guy said this, but that was just because they had a conversation, but he thought it was cool to messenger somebody message somebody what he was thinking instead of what facts are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a lots of theories going on.
Right. And I, and
but
that's what
there's also a lot of conversations from the aunt that are like, no, this happened, and then the uncle saying something. They're just very contradicting each other. So that doesn't help when family members are doing
and
that.
a couple nights ago, the mother was posting on Facebook, and I actually questioned, is this actually Sandra? Because it doesn't sound like Sandra, and I think someone may have had her phone and was posting stuff, because literally it said, well, they've looked everywhere and haven't found a body. And to me, that is what? Because if you were looking for your son and you but right, and she said that he was taken. It went from he's missing at the park to he was taken, and things were being said that I'm like, I actually said, is this Sandra? Because this does not sound like Sandra. And because she would have said, they've looked everywhere and haven't found my son. And so we don't know if it's even Sandra posting the things that are supposed to be coming straight from the mother. We don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Also, these other people that are posting and saying, I'd have to go back and actually click into their accounts, because it's not hard to go into and Leave It to Bieber. I see your response there. Thank you. The thing is that it's not hard to make a fake Facebook. If somebody really wanted to sit down and take the time to do it, like, they could make it and you wouldn't know if it was that person or not. And that's why I always question when I have another family that reaches out to me through Facebook. I want to make sure that it's actually them and actually get to facts and different points surrounding the case that they would obviously know that other people wouldn't know. I don't know how much of the screenshots and different stuff. I've also seen where you can make like fake messages and act like you're talking to somebody that you're not as well too. So, I mean, that's why it's hard for me to believe some of the stuff in those posts and those links of what's going on too.
Right. I understand that. Yeah. I'm not. And a lot of us, I would just say a lot of us, not just myself, wouldn't even think of something like that. But there are people who are cruel and, and they think they're funny or clever, and they'll do stuff like that. So I understand that happens.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but also, like, I looked at Sandra's Facebook and I knew it was her or at least her from her Facebook. It was speaking from hers, but it wasn't fake.
It was her actual Facebook.
Yeah, it was.
But that's not to say that. But that's not.
But it could have been a family member speaking for her or somebody else.
Yeah,
Like,
that
we
she
don't know
handed
who's
her
behind
phone
the screen.
yeah, that she handed her phone to actually type stuff, because we don't know the mental state that they're in when you have a missing
Exactly.
child, and other people are helping you, and they're not thinking about the exact wordings or other information that they shouldn't say certain things like that, and yeah. That's why I live by a rule when I cover cases, and I live by a rule that a missing child is a victim. The missing child's family are victims of a missing child until they're not, and the only ones that can clarify that are law enforcement, because they have to rule them out as either a suspect or been cleared or not a point of interest on an investigation, and that hasn't happened yet. So in my thinking and logic and everything, we have to treat them as victims and give them the benefit of the doubt until they physically, there's physical facts that prove that they're not. And they will come out, and these talks and speculation and stuff help to investigators to get to a conclusion that they need to, which so they're great to have. It's just a lot of times it hurts in actually finding the person. So
Right.
I don't know if you guys like the way I think, but it's just one way that I think to help make it so that like people don't bash families until there's evidential reasons not to. Like, there's facts in everything that is said, and it's deciphering through those facts to figure out what's fact and fiction.
Well, and also I think that, as we've got this technology and everything is at the tip of our fingers, we've learned to expect immediate gratification. And so something that we wouldn't have thought about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, of taking 2 or 3 weeks, right now we want it done now, because that's just how our society works. We want it done immediately, and that's how we live our lives. And so, we may think that the police are taking forever when it could be pretty fast tracked in their eyes.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's probably going on with these parents too is, I know this by working other cases, and a lot of people in public don't, but there's like, once social media gets a hold of this, you have scammers and stuff that are asking you for ransoms and asking you do this or I'll do this to your loved one as well, and it's like it's happening in every single case, and it's rather disgusting, but they also are dealing with that from social media as well.
I bet we don't know the whole story. I know they're probably dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's very stressful, and they're grieving. So I kind of understand that too. That would be something that'd be really hard to deal with, because it could be just the what if this is the one that has them, So how do you deal with that?
Yeah. I don't know this park. A lot of people go to this park all the time, not to play at the playground, but like a lot of people walk the paths or don't walk the paths. I know the footage now, since there's people that are out there all the time with posters and stuff. I haven't seen a lot of other just random people at the park, but
I think it depends if there's like parties and things like that. I know there's people who walk the Greenway pathway itself, and then they'll have like parties and get-togethers and stuff. And usually that's like on the weekend, or if the city's having some kind of a celebration or something like that. But because of where it's at and what's surrounding it, I haven't, before this happened, I haven't been there in 25 years.
I was gonna say, it's definitely changed over years.
I wouldn't even consider it. Yeah, but there is a lot of people who do go, but during the week, I don't think so.
It'd be interesting to find some other videos of like in the local area, and it's easier for people like you that scour social media because you're local. But finding parents that posted pictures of their kids at that playground, so that you can be able to see if there's people that linger around and watch the actual kids that don't have kids that are sitting there and watching them. That's
Oh yeah,
that was
there was reported
Yeah,
that
and there was a. Oh,
a
go
grandma
ahead. I'm
and
sorry.
her two no I'm sorry a grandma and her, I believe it was her two grandsons, a man followed them to the bathroom and she stepped in and intervened, but that's
so
just crazy.
is this like a common thing at this park, or is just a common thing in Yakima, or is it just right wrong place wrong time kind of a deal?
There is so many homeless people and stuff there. They're everywhere. When I say so many, I don't know if people really grasp how many are
No, it's
actually
a community.
there. Yeah, it is actually a community. And so there are so many, and they come out and stuff. And I wouldn't even consider being there in the dark. That would be something that it was just would be a hard no. I'm not going there in the dark. But they're they're walking around and stuff, and they're watching people all the time. I'm not sure that anybody would even find that kind of abnormal, because it's just what it is.
Yeah. So with that being said, so when they did this big huge search over here at the park, it probably disrupted a lot of homeless people as well.
Yeah,
Y-
there were reports that that they were throwing rocks at the police.
Oh wow.
In some areas, they said that a lot of them were very helpful and were actually out there searching. But Camp Hope, which is a homeless camp that is a little bit away, I don't know, Amanda, what do you think, a mile and a half away from this, they actually put up
Probably
a
a
thousand.
mile and a half.
Yeah, they put up $1,000 reward, and a lot of the homeless people were out searching and stuff. But there were some areas that were very um, angry that the police or people were searching. I know for sure, right out of some of the searchers' mouth, that they were um, uh, throwing rocks. One guy was on a bike; he got right in front of them and threatened them. Told him they better not go past this point, because there was like an old dilapidated house behind that point where they were all camping out and stuff. So not all the time were they helpful, but a lot were.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily. I see a comment here from Juju. Would a homeless person abduct a child? Like, how likely is that scenario? I think that, and this is just my opinion, in thinking that there is a lot of forms of homeless people that live in the state of Washington, and and you have good, bad, and there's all different types. So the likelihood of them being like regular citizens in a community that has, I don't know what their homeless population is there, but from what I'm hearing, it's probably pretty significant. And it was one thing that I'm going to be researching this weekend, is to see if there's a tally of homeless situation there, if there's any evidence or anything. It would be interesting. I don't know if I forget your name. Hold on, Amanda. I Do you live close to the park?
I live just outside of. I live in Sela, so but
Okay.
I've lived in Yakima my whole life, so it's just outside
my
of it.
question, my question is like, if I could get some like the perspective of people online is that here we see a map with a pretty beautiful park. We saw the news reporters at the park, but we don't see the RVs that are across the way were never filmed. We don't see what Walmart's parking lot looks like. We don't see like the amount of homeless people that live in the park. We don't see those things. We only see what media wants us to see. So when
Yes,
you're
very true.
online, even on Facebook, when you're on Facebook and you're trying to help or trying to say, well, look at the parents, well, but you have all these other factors that are going on. Like you have homeless people, you have a predator that could sit looking like a homeless person that's not a homeless person. You could like all these different factors and variables could very well play into a big part of what's happening. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
I don't find it odd to be at the park at that time. It's hot in Yakima that time of year. We would take our kids to the park later in the evening. Um, Hold on, Brandon Neal, same here. It's hot here till 9 p.m. Yeah, but if there's a lot of homeless people, so across the way, there's like RVs and a lot of homeless people there. I'm not saying that other people obviously take their kids there because I think I saw some video footage from somebody that like earlier in the week or maybe even the same day uh, of kids playing at the park. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably a common place for the kids to play at the park.
Yes.
And it's all in perspective too. Some people, there's probably a lot of people who don't think that park, that it's a great place to take their kids to the park, but other people have different perspectives too.
So what
So yeah.
this side of town is this like a rough side of town, like
Oh
with
yeah.
homeless and like the class of living and stuff. I mean, and not everybody's grateful to have everything in life. So I'm sure there's still good people, but you would say that this is the lesser of revenue coming in type of homes on this side of the
Well,
town.
well, I think I
Yeah.
don't know if I would say that if
Well,
you
maybe
can't
not because it
to
also
Terrace
leads to
Heights.
Terrace Heights.
Right.
Yes.
Terrace Heights, which is a little ways away from there, no more than a quarter of a mile or so. That's where there's a lot of nice places of family oriented, probably middle class. Then there's probably right about where the I would say the park starts and across the freeway where Yakima is. That's 100 years old or more. Um, most of the houses are run down. Probably a lot of lower lot more would be more poverty and then what you would have. And as we go east, it becomes newer, with building and expansion. And then you get back at a certain point, you get back to like the middle class and then the upper class parts of town and stuff like that. But where this park is, it's closer to um, the lower class poverty kind of part of town. When I was growing up, we called it the hole. And I'm 50 some years old, so that was a long time ago, but everybody said stay out of the hole, and that was a long time ago. So i couldn't even imagine. A lot of gang activity, a lot of drive-by shootings, things like that.
And still, that was back then, or to this day?
Oh, it's gotten worse over the
Way
decades.
worse
It's
to
it's
this
gotten
day,
worse. Yeah, it's exponentially worse than it was even when I was a kid. But we were warned as kids, teenagers, when we were allowed to go out and with our friends and stuff, that you guys stay away from that part of town. That's not a good part of town. I did want to make a comment too, and this might not have anything to do with anything. I don't, like I said, I don't want to talk about derogatory things too, about parents or anything like that. But I do know that there was an organization in town, a store or something, that loaned them ATVs to go searching. And I've been told they were basically they've used them for pleasure and messing around and stuff. And the father of Lucian actually flipped one over and caused $10,000 worth of damage to it. So that goes back to, people with suspicions and stuff. They're like, what are they doing? They're playing around, they're laughing, they're giggling, carrying on. What's going on up there? So, that leads to a lot of suspicion for everybody.
And that's on their family page, by the
Mhm.
like at the very bottom. But they limited the comments so nobody else can comment on it.
Right. And when I ask about it, it was just kind of a giggle and yeah, I heard it was 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was, yeah, and it just was going too fast. And, it was like a joke.
I like scrolling through here. This is the article that I'm on right now, that I was on. See Brian Etten actually stepping in and doing something. I guess I wonder how they can hide him so long without any property or home, etc. I don't think they have done anything, but I'm not shocked to hear that. I think they are making themselves look bad. They need to lay low before they are. Oh, well, that's my point. Is that when there's too many chefs in the kitchen, and stuff getting. That's a great case for there was too many chefs in that kitchen on the Summer Wells case, and when that starts happening with a lot of different people speaking and a lot of different messages, that it becomes hard. And like, what's this? Silent auction, help us find Lucian 50 raffle, bake sale 4 to 7. And then I saw that's happening today. No, yesterday.
It was yesterday, and they raised $8,500 at that. And they have a jar where they sit, where they're taking donations also.
But there's
that's
no
not
reward.
No reward. And that's what everybody's outraged about. And the family has said to us, it's illegal unless we get permission from Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, that's not true.
And I've never heard
a reward for my missing dog.
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. And so I think that's where a lot of the outrage is coming from, that they have gotten all this money and there's no reward for this poor little boy who's out there missing. But again, it brings in the crazy people who are going to say, I have your kid. If you just send me this reward, I'll release him. And I understand that too.
Yeah, see, this is a good point too. Sometimes people insert themselves as well and muddy the waters with the misinformation. And that just goes to tell you that sometimes like what's happening here is you have certain family members that, like, they're not coming together and speaking on one thing. It's like they all want a voice, and it's not helping. It's just hurting the whole thing. And that's why I go to this page, because I don't want to show the messages on the other one.
No, don't. It could be horrible.
Yeah.
No, I know. And my thing is I want to read this, the rest of this little thing here real quick. Hold on here 1 second. I want to read what this says just real quick. These folks, this is from the captain on Monday the 12th. These folks are going through a nightmare, They're having a situation that no one would ever want to face. So I would just like to ask community to be kind, including on social media, don't push send if it's mean. There's no point, right? We don't need to be doing that right now. I think we should be known for a community that supports one another, and their goal is to find their child right. Today is the day to blame or try to make people feel bad. What we're trying to do is come to successful conclusions. I hope that's the kind of community we are, and certainly the kind of police department that we are. So I ask folks to think about that, which is great, but that leads back to the too many chefs in the kitchen.
Right. Well, and I think,
And
if I was to give advice to the family, and I've given them advice, I told you the first day I saw them, I gave them advice and they didn't take it.
yeah,
If I was to give the advice to the family right now, I'd say, you know what, if you guys want to make comments and stuff, stay on the page that you guys have created and use that page as your board to get this information out. Use this as your tool. Don't go on any other Facebook pages. Ignore them. Don't look at them. Don't argue with people with them. Just ignore them like they don't even exist. Otherwise, it just causes more problems than you want to even deal with.
well, and they can put. It's a pretty big family, right?
Yes, from both sides. It's a pretty big family. Yes.
Yeah, it's like taking all of them and putting them in one group, and then you have one spokesperson after that, but in a private messenger group, not unless they create another face. But anything that you say, whether even online or even in private messages, eventually all gets leaked. So don't say anything that you don't want out there. And
Right.
that's my advice to anybody here on social media. Is
Right.
whatever you're going to say on social media. I mean, you can't trust. You can think you can trust anybody and everybody, but at the end of the day, there's always an ego problem with people, and they think it's their ego makes them do certain things that aren't always necessarily correct.
Right.
And
And and then on the Facebook in the page, you can make it open to everybody that can see it, so that they can see what you're saying, anything that comes up, if there's any breaking news, things like that. But you don't necessarily have to let everybody respond to your messages. Where that arrow is, I think that's the concrete place. Yeah.
Yeah. Right under little overpass, right? That then heads down
Right,
to
right.
Walmart.
That goes to Kiwanis Pass, to go
Yes.
to Kiwanis Park, right? And then
Yes.
Buchanan Lake is, if we're looking at this picture, Buchanan Lake on this picture would be south.
yeah, Buchanan Lake's here.
Right.
This is the concrete company, which I know that they have cameras there. That's good
Yes.
advice, but what did she say? Brandy says sometimes Ellie waits on the reward. Believe me, Brandy Neal is the mother of missing Michael Vaughn. So
Okay.
she's
Okay.
I help her with her son. I help her with her family, and I am in constant contact with her. She knows a little bit more about these situations than the average person, and what the feelings are, the emotions, and what some things that all of us that are here, we don't have the missing child. We don't know what thoughts are going through our heads, and honestly, we don't know what the truth is. So we're trying to conclude to just critically think of this as a possibility. The biggest thing is trying to keep his name up here, trying to show different avenues. And a lot of times law enforcement watches these things, and sometimes it takes an idea that somebody from a platform has, as long as they're not out there that that are like far-fetched out there. Like sometimes it's like, oh, we didn't think of that. But it gets one of them thinking and turning their wheels, or I would say turning their gears or wheels. And now all of a sudden they think maybe they never went to check the security camera at the Ready Mix company. Maybe there's another camera somewhere else. I'd imagine they did a very good job of being transparent and showing what they had searched and what they hadn't. And this whole sector in here was all searched by several search teams. The river had several different dive teams in it. This not they dove some of this, but they did search all the way around this. They searched this up top of here is a business. They searched that as well, and they went further. There was some more businesses over here. They searched on this side of the river over here. All this was searched. This area down here was all searched. And then I couldn't see any more further down because on the thing they kind of stopped there, but they searched all this here too. I don't know if they've been in this water yet. I think this water's too far away, and the amount of time when they started looking for him, because when you're starting to yell his name and stuff and looking for him and going and looking, you're probably not going this way, but I don't know which way the parents went. If other people in the park started helping right away, I don't know.
I heard that within an hour there were hundreds of people out there searching, because it went out that there was a child missing or lost, and I believe that there were. My son said, because my son was one of the searchers, that they were out there within an hour. There were hundreds of people out there searching. So it's kind of hard to believe that he was still there if there was that many people searching the area, even within, that short period of time.
Yeah, Brandy, that's Interstate 82 here.
Yes.
This here is a path that I don't know. It goes a long ways.
Yeah, it's the Greenway. It literally takes you from the park to the homeless camp, or Camp Hope, the homeless camp.
And down to the Union Gap turnoff.
Yeah.
Right there,
yeah,
Yakima Valley.
Literally
and
takes you miles.
Yeah. And then it goes all the way to Natchez.
So do a lot of people ride their bike on this path or no?
I would say yeah, but I don't know these days. Maybe on Natchez part, I've seen some out there.
Yeah. If you would have,
there's different areas.
Yes, there are different areas on the Greenway pathway that there are a lot of people riding bikes and walking and stuff. It goes probably 30 miles, total length. And if it was 15 years ago, you would have probably seen in the middle of the day 100 people out there riding bikes and walking and stuff like that. Now I think that it's a lot less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I remember going there a lot when I was little.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know I saw the search thing and they searched all this stuff. They searched all through here and on this side of the river. They searched the river. They searched this part of the river. I don't know if you were on foot walking from this, let's say it right here where this D is in Hubbard. If you were on foot from here down to the homeless encampments, how long would that take you to get there on foot?
As a 4-year-old. As an adult, it would probably take you 30 to 40 minutes, but as a 4-year-old, who knows?
So, but if the police were coming in here and searchers, they would be arriving over here someplace, right? They wouldn't even think to arrive over here. So no, can you see? Go ahead.
There was a lot of police that were, because there's several turnoffs that come off of 82 that it connects to, and there were police. We call it the old Kmart turnoff because I've lived here forever, and that's what people know it as. But there's a big U-Haul place there, and a dog shelter there.
Dog shelter,
right? And so and an arboretum, and so there were a lot of police. I heard around 8 police cars came at that other end, so they came from both directions.
Well, I'm just wondering. I guess I should pull up the map now, because what I'm wondering is, let's say I'm going with the abduction theory here, and it's my opinion here, is let's say that he was taken from here where the D is. Now, if you have a parent that's over here that's looking, so let's say that he gets taken from over here. Are you going to go back over here and go right over here to Walmart? Probably not, right? So if you're here and you were seen going in the south, this would be, this is south, this is east, right? So you'd be going southeast. The only thing that leads me to is do homeless people or people kayak in the river and get off and come over here to the park?
There is a right off of
I
right off the Yakima River, there are literally like little caves and little cubby holes and stuff that are dug into the walls, or in the dirt and stuff, and homeless live up and down there. Homeless live everywhere in this area. Now if it was me, and I was thinking that we've been told that Kiwanis Park is his favorite park. What if he started coming down and then cut over, because you can see that there's like no fences or anything right here. There might be a fence, and cut over and thought he was going back to Kiwanis, and then was abducted more to the west, but nobody really knows it because they saw him coming southeast. But if he decided he wanted to go to Kiwanis, he could have gone off the path and started walking that way.
Yeah, but from Sargent Hubbard Park, you can't see Kiwanis Park from there, right? Because you have a building.
But they said that is his favorite park, and a lot of times they will go to Kiwanis and then come underneath and then go to Sarg Hubbard Park.
So they'd be here, come down Beach Street here, and then come back up.
Right, and come back up. So if that, and this is just a theory, I mean, they're all theories or whatever. Yeah. He may not have even been abducted where they think that he was abducted if he decided that's where he wanted to go, because they said it's his favorite park. He calls it the scary park or creepy park or something like that. Spooky park. And he loves that park. What if they saw him coming southeast, but then he cut back over to try to find the spooky park? That means he could have been abducted anywhere in that central area.
Well, and you also have an apartment complex here, right? Mm-hmm. Are these houses here too? Or no, this is auto parts. So this is a junkyard here, but it has a fence.
There's a junkyard.
Yeah, there's a junkyard there. There is a few houses though that are closer to the park. But I was thinking if for some reason he did cut over, and it would be as simple as walking him underneath the bridge and disappearing, or underneath the freeway and disappearing. And there are a lot of people have the cameras outside now. They're pretty inexpensive. They work really good with your phones or internet. We have them at my house, and hopefully that's part of the houses that they were talking about they were getting cameras from. That would be really interesting.
Well, I'd imagine the thing that I don't understand is we have Walmart here, which we know they have cameras. Mm-hmm. But is this an older, rundown Walmart, or their security's in tip-top shape? We don't know that. I don't know that. You guys would know that. This auto parts store or the junkyard here, I don't know if they have cameras. I do know there's cameras here because I saw them. So they would have cameras here that do go. I don't know how far they go out. They might just go to the edge of their property. I don't know. I did see the cameras when I was doing the live the other day when I was looking for cameras in the area. And I do know there's a camera here, and I'm sure there's one in the back of this Walmart.
The one I was told, the one in the back of the Walmart actually looked inside where it's caged off. Because believe me, they're probably a little more concerned about what the employees are going to steal from back there than what's going to be stolen by the public.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But I was under the understanding that the camera at that Walmart was actually looking inside that cage where they keep stuff and not out. But I may be wrong.
Unsolved with Barb. So I'm gonna go with my mouse right now where they searched. So on the search map, I know they searched all the way to here, I know they searched over here. I know they searched all of this all the way to here. And then I did see lines going down past this. And then I saw search lines and patterns to cover all of this here, back up over here to the business and some more stuff up over here. And I do know they did search this little island here. And I do know they searched this. And I do know they searched the water here with divers. And now I know that they searched here with divers and here with divers on the edges. I don't know for a fact that if somebody goes down with a tank as a diver, you're going to clear this whole pond. I mean, you're not going to go put on all the stuff and then not search the rest of it. I don't know if it was volunteer divers and they only did as much as what their tanks were doing. I don't know. But
they only searched like the southeast corner in his report.
They actually searched the northwest corner too, because they did it on the Tuesday. Yeah, the Tuesday that I was there, they were actually searching that corner, and they were asking everybody to kind of fall back. And
okay, I was thinking I was going off of Dave's report.
Right. And well, Dave's is Buchanan Lake. I think Dave, wasn't he the one that said on Buchanan Lake?
And he did a little bit of that.
Okay.
Pond. What do you want to call that? I don't know what you would call that pond.
Isn't that like Reflection Pond or something?
This one?
Yeah, the one at the top. I thought it was like Reflection Pond or something.
We could call it Sarg Hubbard's Pond.
Yeah, and that's real popular because they put fish in there, and they'll do fishing days.
Yeah, they even have they take care of it because they have an area. I call it what do you call those things? Aeration, because it creates bubbles and oxygen in the water for the fish.
Mm-hmm. Right, and they do fishing days for the kids, so all the kids can come out and fish it. Yeah.
I don't know. There's an ice rink over here, though. I see. Where's the arboretum? What did
the arboretum is south from this. If you're looking at this picture, you would go south. You'd follow the path of you'd follow the Greenway path south, and then you'll see Nob Hill Boulevard, and the arboretum and the Humane Society are right there off Nob Hill Boulevard, close to I-82.
I'm trying to bring the map up here real quick. Well, then you have this whole park here too. So the Greenway turns into a more heavily wooded area, right?
What is that? The one across.
I believe it.
Yeah, Sportsman.
I believe that's also been searched too by multiple people, volunteers.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And then if you pull it up just a little bit more, you see the interchange there. And it says Nob Hill Boulevard. Then the Greenway comes down, and probably right where that green spot is, the closest to the freeway, is where you're going to find the Arboretum. You're going to find Humane Society.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Greenway here.
They would have videos.
Right.
Here's the society.
So that's Humane Society, and then the Arboretum is actually north and west a little bit. And it's a pretty big area. You're going to need to go the other direction.
This one?
Yeah, the Arboretum's above. Yeah. right up here is the Arboretum. You'll see the parking lot right there, and then that's where the Arboretum is. So right in there, you can see the Sarg Hubbard walkway. You're pretty much got it centralized where the Arboretum is.
Yeah, I see the Arboretum there.
Has this little pond been cleared at the Arboretum? I've never even heard of them checking it, but I'm sure they have. I mean,
That's still like a mile and a half away, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then if you go north a little bit, we can show you where the not north, I'm sorry, south a little bit. We can show you where the big homeless camp is. I'm sorry, I told you the wrong direction.
Here's Knob Hill and the
It's
Expressway.
okay. So that
Greenway.
right, and so where the Arboretum and the homeless shelter is, you go across the road, Knob Hill Boulevard, and there's a big building, and that used to be Kmart. And then behind there now is a big homeless shelter, right behind where Kmart was. So
I think it's that white building to the right.
I
This
think
one?
that's like Kenworth or something. It's on the other side of the freeway. Yeah, you're on the wrong side.
On this side or the other side?
It's actually on the east side. So,
Yes,
so
the U-Haul?
it's
Yes,
it's
right behind
U-Haul
the
now.
U-Haul.
Right behind the U-Haul, there's there, and it doesn't look like maybe the homeless camp was there yet. But there's the one where it looks like there's trucks. I think that's like a Kenworth or something. And then that other area is a homeless camp. That would be to the east of whatever that was, Kenworth.
Camp Hope, right here.
Yeah, Camp Hope, right there. Right. It's a lot more busy now. I don't know how long this picture was, because it appears from freeway and stuff, there's a lot more people than that there now. But those buildings are pretty. They put in some buildings for families. They're like little trailer houses. So yeah, so that's Camp Hope right there.
That's still quite a ways.
It is. It is quite a ways. But the administrators of Camp Hope is the one that put up the $1,000 reward. And they did that immediately. I think, I don't know, Amanda, was it a couple days and they had that?
Yeah, it was a couple of days. They were going out asking the homeless to keep an eye open.
Mm-hmm.
If they know anything, seen anything.
But I thought
Yeah.
in the police, what they just released, they said it seems like there was that they said that they had videos from homes and stuff. But it to me, it's like, which homes? Because there's really not any homes or anything until you go underneath the freeway and go towards Kiwanis Park.
Yes, I agree.
I think there's maybe, there's like a couple,
There's
maybe
a
couple.
that we probably don't know.
Right. I just thought in the release that they said something about videos from homes and stuff. And I know that there's a couple videos by Walmart kind of across the street, but I wasn't sure how many homes were there. Well, there's some car dealerships. There's car dealerships there too. So I would think with car dealerships and having a lot of really expensive inventory, there would be cameras from there. Yeah, the car dealerships are in front of Walmart or north of Walmart.
In front of Walmart.
Yeah, right here, Harvest Chevrolet and Harvest Honda. I know they searched this here because that
and
was
then
in
that, and then that's like
that's
the
hotel.
Washington. Yeah, there's
I
a
know they
hotel
searched
there
this
and then
too.
another business.
Yep.
Yeah, you could go. It takes you across the Greenway, takes you across there, and still heads north for quite a long time before you get to Sela. I don't know if it's 3, 4 miles up there. Pretty much
Yeah.
follows the river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did find the weird question was the park dog friendly.
I see people with dogs there. Well, when I was there for those 2 days, there were dogs everywhere, but I don't know if it's because people just brought their personal dogs with them. But I would say yes, because I've
Yeah, I
seen
used to take my
dogs
dogs there
there.
a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm. The family still lives in the area, right?
I'm
You
sorry,
don't
what'd
have
you
to
say?
say where. The family still lives in the area, right?
Yes. Some are
Don't
up,
say.
some are some.
Don't.
Yes. I'm not
I
going to
don't.
tell you
Yeah.
where. Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Some,
where they.
some, yeah, they came from out of town, but some came from out of town. But other than that, I think they all live in the area.
Okay. Hmm. I don't know. My theory still says that he was taken by somebody.
Just hope he's found.
Right. That's what we have to
Well,
ask for is that he's, hope for that he is found and he is found safe.
Mhm.
But I don't disagree with you. I think he was taken by somebody. We just don't know. Hopefully the police have more.
yeah, it seems like that they have more stuff to lead their investigation into a different direction, and it's just we need to let them do their job now. And if you do go out there and search, or if you're a dive team or whatever, give your assistance and where it's needed. And other than that, it's like they're been transparent. I was watching this case early on, and they were transparent the whole time. So letting them work what they're doing, and if you're a local person and you saw something, definitely speak up, because just the slightest thing might be the answer to their puzzle. Like if you were over there anytime that day, or know something that happened someplace else with somebody else's kid, it's time to speak up and talk,
Right. Right.
because
Absolutely.
that littlest detail can make the difference.
Yeah, and it could be so tiny. It could be a tiny detail. It could
Yeah,
be someone at Burger King that gave a guy burgers and the little kid looked like Lucian in the back seat. Who knows?
yeah. I mean, usually when somebody takes somebody, they're within a couple miles, so from where they take them. So
Right.
Mhm.
usually, but there is an interstate there, so we can put that into a factor too.
Yeah. And I
And
do, right. I did want to mention again that if there's foul play, if someone did do something, and I mentioned this when we talked last time, people, some people do like to insert themselves in the investigation, in with the
Yeah,
families, want to be
I agree.
helpful and all this stuff. And so, if anybody, even with the family, and you have somebody that you don't know that's trying to be that helpful and seems a little sketchy, I would report it.
hmm, just something to take note. Walmart will ask people to leave if they've been parked in the parking lot for too long. May be beneficial to ask if they asked anyone to leave that day.
And then a lot of truckers will park in that gravel area that's
Yeah,
east of Walmart, and a lot of, I don't want to call them homeless people because they're living in their RVs. That's a home, but a lot of people who are traveling will park RVs. A lot of people live there pretty much in their RVs. So, anything that be RVs coming in and out, if people had at least any kind of subscription, not subscription, description, then that could be helpful. It was blue, it was green, it was, had Sprinter on the side, whatever.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before I get going here?
Thank you for bringing this up and sharing his story.
Yeah,
Yes.
we as a community need to continue to put his face out there. Someplace, somewhere he is out there. And even if he walked off, wandered off, hurt himself and is out there in the woods, we need to continue to show the picture. And there may be people that don't know anything because there's no Amber Alert. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and the Amber Alert, I don't know. I feel like the criteria needs to be changed. There shouldn't have to be a criteria that meant for an Amber Alert for a missing child. I don't, like, who comes up with that?
Right. It should be missing. It shouldn't have to be like, oh, they have to be seen taken off in a car and here's the car's description. It should include any missing or children that they think may be in danger, endangered children should be included in those Amber Alerts. I think that's something that we as a community can agree on this, and maybe we can get together and write a petition or write a letter to somebody and say, hey, this needs to change. We need to be able to change this.
A lot of people don't have social media, but they have access to phones, and that will pop up. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember seeing this kid or a description of this kid. It's just the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with me doing this, there's way too many kids that go without an Amber Alert. There's too many kids that go without the police department actually posting their picture as well. A lot of times you see the parents having to post it on their own social media. And at that point, you don't even know, like, if you didn't know that this community existed and that people would share stuff and people would do stuff, and you're just a regular person out there and you just use Facebook to connect with family and friends, you wouldn't know all this exists. And that people are here to help, and there's no one-on-one book for somebody that goes missing and what to do. I mean, or would you even think about looking for that? Probably not. And it's the awareness is what's key. I want to thank you both for coming up here. And as I cover, I'm going to follow Lucian's case. Whether there is no new information, I'm going to continue to monitor those Facebook groups. I monitor Twitter. I do monitor TikTok as well. And I'm through the weekend. I don't do any lives during the weekend, but if there is updates on this case, you may see me pop up and do like a premiere video if there's updates on the case or something new comes out. And I will speak on them probably on Monday at some point. And I'm going to try to follow this one as long as it goes on for, and beyond that. I mean, there's other missing people in this town too. So
a lot. There's a lot of missing people here.
Yeah.
I never knew until Lucian, but that really made me dig into more and why isn't it covered as much, or why don't we know as much?
Because they're teenagers and runaways. Runaways aren't really classified as missing or endangered. They're classified as runaways that don't want to be found. They're left for a reason. That's the term runaway. And it's so sad because obviously there's a conflict. They left for a reason, but when they leave out of the protection of their family or parents, and if you're a runaway and you're watching this because you're following Lucian's case, here in a second in my chat, it's going to pop up a safety line. It's called 1-800-RUNAWAY. They also have there's a runaway website. It's a great National Runaway Switchboard. There's also a great website that gives you resources so that you can get a mediator in between you and your parents so that whatever conflict is can get resolved so that you can get back home so that they know that you're safe. And the biggest thing for runaways is at least call your parents, let them know you're safe, because once you leave, who knows what happens to you.
Right. And I
So
wanted to thank you too for covering this. This has been fantastic. You have a lot of time and effort involved in this, and we know that you don't have to do that. So this whole community, for the community, I want to thank you because you've done a fantastic job. And and I think maybe as a community, we can all get together and maybe come up with some kind of an organization organization that just has to deal with Yakima. That is one-stop shop for people who have runaways or missing
yeah.
people,
So
something like that.
So what I can do is, that's a great point that you brought up. What I can do is both of you, if you both want to do this for that area, come join my level-headed group, and I will teach you how it works and how you get people in. Well, not me. I'll have people that can help teach how to make a Facebook page and what works on the social media side of things and how you get people to see your stuff. It's a lot of different work. In my chat is my Facebook. I have a Facebook group that I display missing people in. And some other creators display in there as well. But if you join that, I have people in there that will help and teach how to get something like that working. It takes a lot of work, but the thing is at the end of the day, I would say probably 75% of the times when you post a missing runaways poster and you plaster it everywhere, that they come home or somebody sees them. So, or somebody knows something. And well, one prime example, if you check out Vegas Angels, they're an organization that help runaways in Vegas. They've been up and running since April, and they've brought home 22, I believe now, people just since April. And the power of social media is the biggest thing. And Vegas Angels is in my chat right now too. So you'll just come to the end of the video and their Facebook group is right there as well. And they're not for profit in Vegas. So they do great things as well. And you can kind of see by their group on kind of how they do it. And I can teach you how to get to actually, and being local over there, you'll get more people to follow you in the local area and make it more powerful, so that when somebody does go missing, you put out a thing on there. And if there's 90,000 people and you have 75,000 people in that group, that would be awesome. Because then everybody would see it at the same time.
Right.
So,
right. And that's fantastic. Cause if I could save one child, it would be worth it. But just imagine 22 or, 150 or something like that. That would be very powerful.
Yeah. So I'm going to get off of here. Thank you so much. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, subscribers, everybody, for being in chat. It's Friday. Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
If you, my last words, if you see something, say
Say
something.
something.